Let's kick it off talking about why this vehicle. And actually, tell me how you got it, right? Because it was the International Harvester Scout. So how did you get it, and what made you decide to relaunch it?
Yeah, first of all, it wasn't me. No, our American team, Scott Keogh, when we bought Navistar last year, they came forward a few months ago only with the idea. Navistar, this owns the brand Scout, International Scout. And then they said, this is a huge opportunity for us because we think it's a really American brand. It has a lot of substance, ingredients. It's still beloved with Americans. And then they started with this idea between our headquarters and strategy people. So shouldn't we or can't we use that brand to re-enter or to enter the pickup and big SUV market in the United States? Wouldn't that be much better to do it from America, for America, with an American brand, instead of trying to, let's say, get American people acquainted with a European idea of pickup trucks?
Well,
and I found that from the beginning, I found that very, very promising and exciting. And the team did quite a good job for preparing that. And today, we had a chance to agree on it in our supervisory board.
It is.
So I'm excited.
It is incredibly American, like baseball and apple pie. It totally represents for me the 60s and the 70s in high school. I was a kid at the time when I first saw one. Will you develop this with Ford or with American partners? Because I know it's not going to be on the MEB platform.
Yeah, and it's very premature. There are first ideas. We have a concept car and we have designs. So it's too early to tell more details. Today, I'm really excited about the ideas, the story, the business plan. We agreed it will be a substantial investment, and the whole, let's say, design process, industrialization will be. We will use some of our, let's say, toolkits and components for sure, no, because it will not be a retro product. We will do a very sophisticated new electric pickup truck. But it will be mostly done, I would say 90% of this story is going to happen in America.
I just, because you work so closely with Ford, also Ford owns a big stake in Rivian, and when I look at the Scout, I think your two biggest competitors have to be the Bronco on the kind of design side, and then Rivian on the electric side. Is that where you want to slot it in? Is it going to be competing head-to-head with the Bronco? Are you going to be competing head-to-head with a Rivian?
I think the references are quite rightly set. No, Rivian for sure is a very modern product. No, and we have to compete with that at least. No, probably add some features which we think are necessary. And then, for sure, this whole pickup truck market in the United States is converging. And we will see new competitors. Now, we have to mention Tesla and others as well, because it's so relevant in the United States. So we will see more competitors. We will build our own story now. I think with that history, we really already spend a lot of time understanding the brand and the design cues and how it should look like. And the teams are very enthusiastic about it. So we will do something very different from the others and very American.
By the way, how much is it going to cost? Isn't it scary at a time when inflation is so high to go into a brand new product, a brand new concept like this?
Definitely. No, it's a big, it will be big investment, several billions for sure. But I think it's really worthwhile because we think that the United States is really the economy and market where we should invest a lot more. Now we are still very, very small in the United States, and we have now a good track record. We are profitable. We should use this momentum of electrification. And now owning a real American brand and bringing it back to market is a huge chance. And altogether, those efforts should lead to a situation where by 2030, we should be around 10% market share, which is necessary to be sustainable in the American market. So we need the volumes, the economies of scale, and we need to become more American.
Herbert, when you look at pickup truck, I mean, prices here just keep going up. Chevy just put out a new ZR2 of the Silverado that starts at 70 grand. The Ford Raptor, if you option it right, is at least 85 grand. The Ram TRX gets up to 100. What do you think about the incredible price increases that we've seen here? Are you seeing the same thing there?
Yeah, that's what happens around the world currently because of raw material prices are really soaring. I hope that this is a transitional effect. In the battery cars, it's mostly the raw materials for batteries, which are not, those prices don't have a real substance, or because we have a shortage in the market. So they should come down on the midterm and long term to reasonable price levels. And then the EVs, the EV pickup trucks will be also a very economic alternative to the ICE cars. So if we enter, we enter, or when we enter at scale and at the right price point to be attractive to many Americans.
I wonder about BEV prices and ICE prices. Right now, there's a pretty drastic difference. When are they two going to come back into line, you think?
Both raw material prices are creeping up now. For the ICEs, we have those precious metals, we have steel, we have aluminum, and for batteries, it's nickel and lithium. I think after this shortage and let's say squeeze situation in the market, they should come down, and we will, as soon as possible, we will forward these advantages back again to the customers.
In terms of chips, when do you expect the supply-demand of chips to come back into equilibrium? A lot of people said last year, maybe by 2022, and the beginning of this year, they said maybe in the second half. Now we're hearing 2023 and even 2024.
Yeah, we have, it's a combination. We have very strong demand for cars worldwide, basically. And people want to spend the money on cars, and we have this shortage. We will see a big alleviation through this year, I would say second half, because I know that a lot of wafer production went into automotive in the past months. So I would say by August, September, we should see a much better situation. We will still see shortages in some of the components because building up additional capacity for semiconductors just takes time. It takes years. I think a lot of investment is going in now. We will see continuous improvement. Is it fast enough? Probably not. No.
By the way, I was thinking my perfect garage could have a Scout SUV and a 911 Sport Classic. When do you think we're going to see the Porsche IPO? Can you give us anything on timing? Is Q4 the planned date?
We announced that it's going to happen. We're trying to make it happen this year. We are preparing for it. We cannot announce yet the exact date, but we're sticking to our plans.
All right. In terms of the Scout and what I can only imagine is going to be an incredibly successful new brand, it does broaden the product palette that you offer. And I thought you were trying to scale back on the amount of models and even brands. Does this, how do you square that?
I thought so, but this is just so attractive and such a precious brand that, and such an attractive segment that I said, wow, we should do that probably.
You're also coming out with, the microbus is going to be coming out, which Americans have been waiting for, it feels like, for a decade. Do you see a real revitalization of the VW brand in this country?
I'm sure about this. The ID.4 has good success, more IDs coming, and this wave of electrification, which is coming, we will be within the first to establish own production in our Chattanooga facility for electric cars. We will soon introduce the ID bus there, and we have good momentum. And we focus our strategy, and we have been already over the past years doing a lot for becoming more successful in America. The team did a great job. Scott Keogh's team, we did a lot to understand the customer, the American customer much better. And now, let's say, coming back or reviving an American brand, I think should give us huge additional momentum.
Can I just...
Which is what we should do, because America is just so important. And and it's our big opportunity for the future.
Can I just, speaking of opportunities in America, I'll just make one suggestion to you, and you can kick this around with Scott and see what he thinks. The Volkswagen thing was one of the coolest cars that we saw on these shores from VW, and an E thing would be so great. You could do a Volkswagen, an E thing, and have like Snoop Dogg do a commercial. Have you thought about bringing back the thing?
Why not? Why not? Yeah. I think we can do a lot, and starting, beginning the endeavor, I think we will even create more ideas. I only can say that it's an idea from the American team, and they have been very emotional about it. It took them not a lot of effort to win over all the strategy team here in Wolfsburg. Everybody is enthusiastic about it, and today also the supervisory board. Also, it's big investments, and difficult times, but there was no, not even a voice opposing of what we proposed. So there's big momentum, big support. We are aligned.